Greetings to you. Greetings and welcome. It is Saturday, the 13th day of December 2025. Welcome to Uncensored Guyana. Well, I was a bit distracted earlier today, just about an hour. Threw me off my topic a bit. I had to compose myself and to stay on script. But for those of you who have tuned in, happy holidays. Now, I can say no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I can say that. But in the past, I've had enough, not have had, I continue to have issues with support in the areas of what I do. So the weapon formed against me economically, well, had some impact and continues to have some impact. But that doesn't seem to be enough. I'm trying to figure out now my position on the crisis in Venezuela. My position standing with President Donald Trump and America on this quest to take out and take down Nicolas Maduro is simply this: Guyana first. Okay? Guyana first. If I can use my platform to render support, and if I can rally my supporters and talk to Guyanese via the medium that I have, to tell them to stand with your government against threats in Guyana and out of Guyana, that's what I'm doing. I make no apologies for that. None whatsoever. Take Maduro out. Get rid of his cabinet. Get rid of all those military cartels, those mercenaries that have helped to create instability, uneasiness, fear amongst the average Guyanese citizen. Take them the fuck out. That's what I said. I am with President Trump in bombing those cartel boats, in seizing the oil tanker. I am with the President of America. I make no apologies for that. The fact that Colombia is also sending its worst to Guyana, if the Colombian president is on the agenda for the President of America, Donald Trump, so be it. I don't give a fuck. I'm not putting my credibility or on the line for these cartel leaders. What has Colombia done for Guyana? What has Venezuela done for Guyana? Absolutely nothing. Who Guyana runs to in times of crisis? Who? Who has the largest investment, not just in oil? Generally, who invests the most in Guyana? You think it's the Chinese? It's the Americans. So whatever your sentiments are, based on whatever media house you get your information from, and you're trying to demonize the Americans or demonize Donald Trump, I'm not wavered. I'm not influenced or inspired by your personal issues with the Americans. Guyana owes America a fucking whole lot of debt. Guyana. Because most of Guyana resides in America. They are citizens, they're nationals, they're residents. Some are illegal, like Melly Smell and all these others. Some are criminals, but the point is, America is the breadbasket of Guyana. America, the same American government that a lot of you like to cuss and say this and say that and talk your ill things about the American presidents, same America provided refuge, a home, opportunity, made a lot of you millionaires, that you can build mansions in Guyana, you can support your family back in Guyana, you can do all these things in Guyana, thanks to the Americans. And you are cussing the president of America, cussing the American system, because you have some kind of emotional ties to fucking Venezuela or Colombia? Ungrateful sons of bitches. Guyana owes America. America doesn't owe Guyana shit. America did not colonize Guyana. They helped to free Guyana. We are indebted to America. If it was not for the Americans, Nicolas Maduro would have already annexed Essequibo, since in the Biden regime. If it was not for Joe Biden and his regime, Nicolas Maduro would have bombed the hell out of Guyana. Now we have President Trump. He's a bit more of a strong man. I kind of like that. We are indebted to America. We are indebted to the American system. We are indebted to the American foreign policy. We are indebted forever. Whatever the Americans does with their foreign policy programs, we better stand the fuck behind it and stop criticizing it. They're the only ones. They're the only one who is keeping Guyana free and independent. The Americans, the governments, regardless of Democrats or Republicans, the American system makes sure that Guyana exists and is free from interference. That's the border issue. Threats within Guyana. I am behind the Americans when it comes to law and order. I hate crimes. And I hate criminals. I am saying kill the criminals who kill people. That's what I'm saying. That will never change. That would be my policy. Always. You kill, you shall be killed. You steal, chop your hand off. That shall be my policy. Bring back the death penalty. That's my policy. What the Mohammeds have done, not just accused of doing, they're indicted. This is beyond accusation. Indictment is beyond accusation. Indictment means they get all the evidence, they caught you red-handed, So now they're indicting you to come physically in person and face the force, the brute force of the law. That's what it means. They're not accusing you, Muhammad. This is not guilty or not guilty. The indictment means you're guilty. Let the court decide now how much jail time. I have nothing personal against the Mohammeds. I admire their wealth, but I would not do what they did or accused of doing or convicted of doing to get that wealth. No, it's not worth it. Trust me. Look the shit they're in now. Is it worth it? No, it's not. They would spend the rest of their lives in prison because of their bad business, because of their crimes. Had they been good citizens, they could have spent the rest of their lives enjoying the fruits of their labor, traveling anywhere in the world, even getting in politics. But because of their crimes, politics wouldn't help them. Swearing in as opposition leader wouldn't help them. Was it worth it? All the monies you're dumping behind your lawyers, is it worth it? No. Because no matter what you do, at the end of the day, you have to go and deal with the American justice system. Nothing and no one can make you escape that. That is in the best interest of Guyana's democracy, Guyana's position on the global stage, respect for the Guyanese system, admiration for the Guyanese system, trust in the Guyanese system, because when they are gone, the rest of the world would see that, hey, Guyana is now a part of us. Guyana is now a first world conscious country that does not tolerate these kinds of practices. Clamp down on drugs, clamp down on crime, stop all these criminal activities. Guyana would emerge to the status of a first world Europe. So even the white people, Caucasians, would feel free and safe and secure to relocate to Guyana, to build a home in Guyana, raise their family in Guyana, because Guyana now has achieved a status like that of Europe, white people's country. I want that for my country. I want that. Getting rid of all of the prostitutes, the drug dealers, the gang members, the illegal guns and drugs from the streets. I want that for Guyana. The people who resist that, the people who have a problem with that are the criminals themselves, the prostitutes themselves, and those who are profiting from the condition Guyana has been in. They want it to stay that way because it works for them. They want crime. They want criminals. They want prostitution. They want drugs. They want the world, the rest of the world, to keep seeing Guyana as a slum, as a scum, as a shithole country that nobody wants to come, infested with niggers. They want that to be the case. For me, no. I never, ever would want that. The scorn and the scourge that Trinidad is experiencing, it's a fucking nightmare. Nightmare. And who do you think? Who do you think in Trinidad? Who do you think in Trinidad? What neighborhoods in Trinidad do you think are terrorizing the country? Ghettos. Ghettos. Mostly niggers and the scum of the Indian population that likes to hang out with the niggers. Those who think they're niggers, they pull their pants down, they walk on their sag and put their ass out advertising that they're homos. Those types are fucking up Trinidad. Same with Guyana. Same. Can they rid those countries from that? Yes. Who is preventing it? Human rights. Human rights. And all these organizations that talks about culture and race and all them shit, they're blocking it. Because whenever the police go out and do their jobs and get these criminals, shoot these criminals, arrest these criminals, them niggas coming and saying, oh, he's innocent, there's violence against black people, police brutality. Yeah. Then the human rights and all these organizations that the government is funding, they stand with this. But they never come out when them same fucking niggas are killing people. They never come out. They're robbing. They never come out. But when the law does what it has to do, everybody cries. The black people are the victims. All of that I stand for. And you know what they keep throwing at me? Threats. Well, today, for the third time this week, I received a call just shortly, about an hour ago, from a credible individual who has ties to law enforcement in Guyana. And you know, every police department, they have undercover, that they're undercover, they're there for bigger issues, you know, but they listen out, they hear stuff, they listen, and a lot of these lunatics in Guyana, they don't understand that sometimes when they say stuff, they're saying stuff to an undercover cop. They don't know that. But they're so irresponsible and black, they don't give a fuck what they say. They say things loosely. I had a lot of issues during the election. They tried their best. They threatened my kids. They threatened all kinds of stuff. Here in Suriname, I faced a lot to get me off course during the elections so that I would stop promoting the PPP or stop or be afraid. But instead, they encouraged me to go harder, and I went harder. And as a result of that, the PPP, 50,000 plus. Now we have local government elections are coming up, and the threat starts again. This time, I learned today that apparently there is a 10 million, I mean, don't I worth more? There's a 10 million hit on my head. 10 million. Not US dollars. I'm sorry. Guyana dollars. 10 million. They put a hit on my head for 10 million. Whoever does the job gets 10 million. I learned that just now. Early in the week, I've learned different figures, and the way they're doing this thing is that they're not secret about it. They want me to hear. They want me to get the information. Psychological warfare. So they're getting to people that are located in Suriname that apparently has communications with me. So they're saying, in other words, you see, your sources in Suriname we can get to. So they tell you what's coming. And why you think they're doing this? I've just said before, my policies, the plans I have that I would like to see for Guyana, They don't want to hear that. They want me to side with the Mohammeds, talk in favor of the Mohammeds. They want me not to deal with the issue with Venezuela and the Americans, not to talk about prostitutes, not to talk about all these things, just to focus on light issues, but don't bring attention to these issues that are mostly important. At a time when the Mohammed's case is really tried in the public, I should take sides. I should hate the PPP because to them, I don't know, maybe I gave them that impression. Or somebody knows something I don't know, but they think that the PPP wronged me. So because they wronged me, I should not be continuing to talk in favor of the PPP. And since I am, the only way to shut me up is to threaten me. My platforms have been shut down so many times. I'm now growing them back. There are people who have a larger following on social media. Why don't they pick on them? What, nobody bothers with those people? Nobody takes them serious? I mean, they have a lot of followers. But who cares? They're targeting me. You would think I'm running for president. 10 million on my head. You mean you're going to send somebody to take me out for 10 million? You're that cheap. If it's 100 million, I'll understand. I'll fake my own debt and get half of the money. But 10 million? Seriously? It's like you criticize the first lady's dress, 20,000. I mean, that cheap dress, 20,000. Really? Is that how Guyanese are cheap? You can't afford to pay a higher bounty? Now, my sources, for their own safety, because you know, when you start revealing people's names and you get the law enforcement involved, they will have to say where they get that information from. Then there's a chain of people that might be arrested and get into trouble. And all they're doing is saying, hey, I heard this, just give him the information so he knows. But it's not that they could have just forgotten about it. They could have just said, hey, I don't want to get involved. I'm not going to. But these are people who knows me personally. But those who are saying the stuff, they don't know that these people know me personally. So they wouldn't say to me directly that the Mohammeds put a hit on your head. They wouldn't say that. Or some drug dealer from Maduro or some shit. So I'm trying to figure out, where did this hit come from? Is it the Mohammeds? Is it the Colombians? Is it the Maduros? Who? I'm trying to figure it out. You see, if I know what's the source, then I can target that source. I can go more heavy on that source. So now I have to wonder and try to get more information. But they don't want to reveal much. I told you yesterday that even here, I have to watch my back. I do watch my back. People approach me all the time. Man, why are you so harsh on the guy? Man, why you this? You know, the Mohammeds alone is not, the Mohammeds alone, the Mohammeds is not alone in this. Why can't you target them, or the politicians that help them? I mean, why? People are begging me to go easy on the Mohammeds. I'm like, what is it? What's in it for you? Because this guy's innocent appearance with his cheap suits and his sanctioned vehicles, he get these young people to fall in love with that and be sorry for him, sympathetic, not knowing that they're being sympathetic with a multi-billionaire who don't even know they exist. They're willing to target me, to threaten me for a man that don't even know they exist just because of social media. And I'm just doing what I'm doing for the health and the security and the longevity of progress in Guyana. That's all. That's all. I understand people get bounties all the time. I know this is why politicians, ministers have to walk around with all these bodyguards. I understand that's the game. But I can't afford bodyguards. My business is messed up. I'm barely surviving. But you think I have to now succumb to the pressure and the threats and say, maybe I should tone it down. Maybe I should, because, I don't want to piss these people off. Fuck you. Piss people off. Think I'm afraid of you? You threatened before during elections. You put how many bounty you wanted. I went to Guyana. Yeah, during immigration, I had some issues there. But the point is, I moved around. You are not going to restrict my freedom. You and your bloody bounties and your threats. I go wherever the fuck I want. If you want to be a man, approach me without your weapons, mano a mano. Let's do it. Let's do it. Don't be a bitch and come with a weapon or a gun. No. Don't sneak up. Let's do it. You want to be a thug? Then let's be a thug. Don't sneak up and put secret bounties on. Face me man to man. Let's go at it. You're a fucking coward. You're putting hits on people's head. You're a coward. So even so, local government elections are coming. I'll make sure, I can guarantee you this. If these threats are coming from the Mohammed's camp, I don't think the PNC they are that stupid. I don't think PNC, they are that stupid to put hits on my head. I don't think so. They really gotta be irresponsible and stupid to do that. They understand politics. The only small dick, insecure, fucking little ego person who would do things like that, thinking maybe what am I, paper shorts or fucking Roger Khan, is the camp that has to leave the country. He couldn't even show up to his own press conference yesterday. His bunch of Negroes had to speak on his behalf. Imagine that. Imagine that. The great opposition leader can't face his own press conference, putting black people to speak for him, these fucking lowlifes. For what? A few dollars more? You can't come to your own press conference. If it is that you people are taking this personal and you are doing what you're doing because you think you're doing Mohammed's a favor by trying to shut me up, or people who speak in favor of the country, I'm not a mouthpiece for the PPP. I'm speaking on behalf of Guyana, Guyana's safety, Guyana's prosperity, and I'm a patriot. And being a patriot, I have to stand with my government. That's what being a patriot is. You don't be against the president, even if you're in the opposition as a citizen. When elections come, then you can say whatever shit you want to say. But while elections are not there, you have to do your part as a citizen and be patriotic. Stand with your government in the times of crisis. And there is a crisis. Maduro threatens to attack Guyana and Trinidad because he can't get on to the Americans. He can't do anything to the Americans. And since Trinidad is close to Venezuela and Guyana is just a border, he plans to unleash hell on Guyana and Trinidad simply because he can't do it to the Americans. I want to see him try. The other information that came out that I was unaware of is that one of the reasons why it wasn't Maduro who decided to say no deal, it was Trump. President Trump says no deal. And one of the reasons why he said no deal was because Nicolas Maduro wanted 100 of his cronies to get global amnesty along with him. 100. How the you are getting a chance to leave Venezuela to any country of your choice with your family, children. Just leave. But leave now. The now was when they talked about 2 weeks ago. Instead of taking that, his cartels pressured him to say, hey, no, you're going, we're going. And the we happened to be in excess of 100. So he had to lobby on behalf of all these handlers that he has. And they're almost 100. So they wanted global amnesty also, because they know they're also sanctioned and indicted and so on to go to prison. They're like, you can't leave without us. We all going. But when they leave, they're taking a large chunk of the Venezuelan economy with them. How the heck can Donald Trump agree to that? You're punishing your people. You're starving them. The prostitutes can't even get business because men don't have money to pay them. They got to come across to Guyana and Trinidad and Suriname. And you want amnesty for 100 of the richest people in Venezuela who embezzled the country's resources for decades. And not only that, they want to leave with all their wealth. You already have 10% of the wealth of the country. Your other 100 cronies, they may have another 50%. So if you have amnesty, Maduro, and your 100 people have amnesty, and they're allowed to leave with all their wealth, you're talking 50% of the economy gone. You think the Americans want that responsibility? 50% means the country would be worse than Haiti. Worst. They couldn't allow that. Say, no, it's no deal. It's no deal. And that's the stupidity of citizens. This man doesn't care about the Venezuelans. He doesn't care about them. He cares about himself and the 100 richest people in Venezuela who keep stealing the country's resources. He cares about them. Not the citizens, not the 32 million, just 100 and himself. That because the Americans say no, the 100 has to face justice. He is willing, Nicolas Maduro is willing to get tens of thousands of Venezuelans killed in a war just because his handlers has him by the balls. He's willing. Because he apparently doesn't want the war. He says it, I don't want war. They were the ones who were pushing him to annex Essequibo. It wasn't Maduro himself. His handlers, these 100 people, were pushing him to annex Essequibo because they wanted access to Guyana's oil. A lot of you think the Americans are after the oil? No. These cronies from Venezuela were pushing Maduro to take over Essequibo because they wanted the oil in Guyana. It all came out. So we should be embracing and thanking the Americans. The Americans are the angels for Guyana. If Trump had agreed to that, to let these 100 plus one leave with all that wealth, Guyana would be devastated. You will have hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans fleeing Venezuela because it will become so bad. What do you think will happen to Guyana? They will run out the citizens from Guyana, literally overpower Guyanese. Because if a few 100,000, a million Venezuelans cross the border, they would, you know what that means? They would take over Guyanese. They would take your house. They would take your land. How would you stop them? You have a police force to stop them? You have a military to stop them? You fuckers, you motherfuckers are putting hits on my head before you think about that? Before you think about that? You bothered with me? I'm the one who's trying to protect you. You're not worried about all the Venezuelans who will come in the country and run you out your house. You're bothered with what I say? That's what you should be putting a hit on. Use your energy and wait for when the flood of migrants come. Wait for that. Oh, and they're becoming armed. There are a lot of militants, a lot of them. So you can't fight them. That's what you should be worried about. At least for them to get to Trinidad, they need to go by boat. The Trinidadian military can stop them in the water. But Guyana, Suriname, they can walk over by foot. They don't need boats. So Trinidad is still in a protective state. And it's a good thing they have a strong woman there, Kamala Prasad Bisir. It's a good thing they have a strong president there who vowed to protect her borders, protect her country, deport the illegals, deport the drug dealers. I like what she's doing with the ghettos. Burn it the fuck down. I like that. Go in and get them. Clean the ghetto. Shut it down. Crime has to stop. I like her policies. I'm with that. I'm supporting that. I like what Donald Trump is doing in America. He should really, really rid Chicago. That's a help. But I like what he's doing. Get rid of crime. Why should you live with crime? Why? You're working so hard. You're dedicating yourself. You're doing for your country what you think and you know that you deserve to do for your country. And you can't walk free in your own city. You hear a motorcycle coming, you have to jump and look around you. The Home Affairs Minister is getting rid of the tents to protect the good citizens of Guyana, and you have a problem with that? All they know to do is anything that threatens the prosperity of crime, they want to shut down. I'll continue to say this. Since you guys are making me a victim of threats and putting hits on my head, I'll continue to say this. I will continue to call on President Irfan Ali and his government to reintroduce the death penalty, to bring the laws that governs these developed countries when it comes to dealing with crimes. Most importantly, bring back the death penalty. Instead of putting CCTV on just a few electric poles, put it on every pole. I'm with the whole 4,000. I mean, it's a little small number, but 10,000. The whole city, the entire country, make it a surveillance state like China. Make it a surveillance state like China. Establish juvenile prisons. Yeah, hardcore juvenile prisons. For all them ghetto thug kids that are going to school and they're beating up other people's children, get them in juvenile prison. Let them grow up in there. Use harsh measures to deal with the crimes in Guyana. Look where it starts. You have primary school kids, secondary school kids are fucking criminals. Look at the things they're doing. You had a video circulating the other day of some school where the girls are whining on the boy's penis, grinding or dry humping, they call it. And they're filming it, it's nice. And how old are they? 12, 13, 14? But they don't get into trouble. But when they're 16 and they're going and fucking around the sugar daddies because they just want the money in exchange for pussy, you call the sugar daddies pedophiles. And look what these same horny teenagers are doing. You don't go and arrest their parents. Harsher punishment. I want you to look around in American cities where there are predominantly white people. Look around in those cities. Look around at Europe. Stop watching Smelly Smells fucking videos on Facebook and Mark Benchcop and all these fucking lowlights from the PNC and search the internet and look at the standards that exist in Europe. You will never see that. School children behave, never. The only motherfucking place you see that is the fucking ghettos. Black people. Look at Africa. Look at TikTok. Look at the black children in Africa, the little girls, how they're seducing men on TikTok with the help of their parents, with the help of their parents who are managing their accounts. Look at what they're doing. Black people. See if you can see any of that from white people or Indian and worst Chinese. You would never see that. Are you fucking threatening me? You want that to continue in your society? You want that to continue in your society? I talk against it. You're putting fucking hits on my head. Bring it on. You motherfuckers, bring it on. Yeah. Go ahead. And if you think I'm talking with water in my mouth, you better don't hope by some miracle I am your Minister of Home Affairs. You better don't hope by some miracle I am. Then you will see who's talking with water in their fucking mouth. Then you will see. Let me get anywhere close to controlling that situation. Anywhere close. I'll teach you a lesson. But sadly, the government wouldn't want any public association with a radical, right? That's what they call me, a racist, a radical. So no, the Ali government would not appoint somebody like me in the cabinet because it is bad for politics. No, we can't be seen. They don't even want to take pictures with me. Oh no, oh God. Yeah, that's how they have me now. Imagine, niggas are putting hits on my head. And the people that I am standing with because they stand for justice, they're disassociating themselves. Because if they do, then the village voice is going to call on again on Ali and Jagdeo to make a public statement denouncing me. They did it before. And all these other people, oh, the government has to denounce this guy who calls himself Dr. Prasad. Yeah, that's my fucking name. I don't call myself that. That's my name. I name myself how the fuck I want. That's my name. So like I said, don't be a coward. I'll continue to defend my country and my government. I'll continue to stand with the Americans. I will never be ungrateful to the Americans. Never, no matter which president is there. I would always bow to America. Why? Because America is keeping Guyana safe, not Guyanese. America is keeping Guyana safe. There is a larger population of Guyanese in America than there is in actual Guyana. Guyana has over 1 million or even more Guyanese in America than the 800,000 in Guyana. So what the fuck you talking about? We exist because of America. We are kept safe because of America. Every time we have an issue, what does the opposition say? Oh, we need to call the FBI. And you want to cuss America? You want to talk about Donald Trump? We should be thanking the man, thanking the system, praising them because they're keeping us safe. They're keeping us alive. The oil is being pumped because of American businesses. Don't forget that. So while politicians would say what they have to say to make their constituents feel that they stand in a certain position, the politicians in Guyana knows that Guyana cannot exist without America. They know that. A lot of them would not come out and say it because it doesn't suit the narrative, so they wouldn't say it. But they know. I'm not a politician. I don't have to pretend. I can say it right out. We need America. We stand with America. We stand with Trinidad against crime, against drugs, against criminals, against prostitution. We stand with these countries. And I dare you, Afro-Guyanese, those who call themselves patriotic or God people, I dare you to represent your mouth. Condemn the wrong that's happening. Condemn the fake news. Denounce the Mohammeds. Denounce the PNC. Stand with President Ali and the PPP. You have no other choice. You don't have a choice, really. Demonstrate that. Whenever these people are calling for protests to destabilize the country, you call for a protest to support your country. The PNC is planning protests for Monday. For the cash grant, these lazy bunch of fools, these not working wannabe millionaires, they think a cash grant is going to get them rich. Well, listen. We are going to plan a counter protest on Monday and say no to cash grant. No cash grant, no cash grant, no cash grant. Yeah. When they plan their protest, we plan our protest. We can't just sit back and stay on social media and just like, oh, this and oh, that. No, we got to stop that cowardly behavior. They're coming out to destabilize the government. We have to come out to support the government. So when they come out with 200 people, we have to come out with 20,000 people. And every time, shut them down. Shut them down. Eventually, what you think they'll do? They will turn and back the PPP. They're going to just say, you know what? You can't beat them, join them. Aubrey Norton is going to take that fucking ugly mask off his face, and he's going to walk into Freedom House, bow to Barajagi, and says, my Lord, what can I do to help? You have to have counter protest. They want to fight, we fight. Can't be sitting around and allowing yourself to be bullied, taken advantage of. No, those days has to go. It has to stop. Gone are those days. No more threats. No more intimidation. You can fight, we can fight. You got a cutlass, we have an M16. An eye for an eye. Until Guyana becomes one. We have to get rid of every threat within and without. So the elements that are within the country that are sponsoring violent acts, are sponsoring robbery, are sponsoring these things just to make the appearance that the government is complacent or the government is not keeping the people safe, those elements should be sought after, arrested, and jailed. If you don't have the tools, Home Affairs Minister, to do that, we have the FBI right there. The Americans are right there in the Caribbean Sea. They ain't far. Ask for their help. And thanks to the Trump administration, thanks to the special forces of the American military, they managed to get out of Venezuela the opposition leader, Corina Machacha. But you know, the opposition leader. Imagine that. How can you? That is why sometimes I get upset. The American special forces, the covert CIA operatives, when Trump said they were on the ground, this is what he meant. Went into Venezuela and got out. Now she's safe in Norway. They got her out the country. Maduro thought he knows his country. Even his military assisted in getting her safely out the country. And still the man wouldn't just quit. The Americans went in Venezuela on the ground, got the opposition leader, protected her, gave her a safe passage out in boat until she reached the safety of the American CIA and the military. And now they got her to Norway because Maduro wanted to get her to kill her. That is the expertise that I keep telling you why we need to stand with America. That's the expertise. This is why you can't bother with the rhetoric from Maduro and he's not gonna suck up to Trump and Trump is bluffing. Look what Trump did. Went into Venezuela, got the opposition leader, bring her out of Venezuela. And he thinks they can't get him? And he thinks he is safe? She was in hiding. She was in hiding. Not even him with all his spies knew where she was in Venezuela. But the Americans knew where to go find her. And they went in on fucking foot. The special forces, the CIA, in Venezuela and Caracas, to wherever she was, got her, bring her out the country, and Maduro didn't know shit. This is why I'm saying, when they want the Mohammeds, if you don't cooperate with the system and let the man go via extradition, they will extradite him themselves. And there's nowhere in Guyana the Mohammeds could hide that the Americans can't find him. The same way how they got out the opposition leader of Venezuela and nobody knew. They can get the Mohammeds out of Guyana and nobody will know. So your best bet is to stand on the right side of history. Stand with the Americans, don't fuck with them. Follow the law. Do your business well. And be careful what you say against the system. So all them people who are making threats on social media, my page is being followed by the FBI. I made sure that. The TikTok and Facebook, and I made sure that. It's followed and monitored. So if a police showed up at your house in Guyana and arrest you, don't ask why. Don't let your mama come saying, oh, what did he do? So know what you're saying. on the internet. Before I go, to Nicolas Maduro, the things that you are saying about attacking Guyana and Trinidad, let's see if you would last the next week. Because they got the order. Let's see if you would last the next week. I don't want a war because my country would feel the impact. My country will feel the full impact of a war. I don't want a war. I'm concerned about Guyanese and Guyana, and I'm concerned about that. I want progress to continue. So I don't want a war. Suriname is not ready for influx of refugees. Guyana is not ready. Trinidad has their own issues to deal with. They have to get rid of crime. It's not ready for that. Venezuelans should stay in Venezuela, but I would like you to leave quietly, Maduro. Quietly. Don't let the war begin. It's begun already, but don't let the bombs start to fly because innocent people will die. And the rest will run away because they don't want to die. Nobody wants to die. But watch your rhetoric. If your people are lying on you, then you need to get the message. If they're spreading rumors that you want to attack Guyana and Trinidad, and you're not saying those kinds of stuff, well, maybe you should deal with your inner circle. But the fact that they're doing that to alert the Caribbean, it means that they really want hell to be rained down on your head. So to save your country and your own life, I think you should call Trump, apologize, and take the deal. Leave the rest of the people behind to deal with the American route. You should leave. Otherwise, you may not survive this week. And I'm not making a threat. I'm quoting Trump. I'm quoting the President of the United States, who says land operation is about to begin. Land operation is about to begin. And he said it a few days ago. And that means the soldiers are on the ground. Boots are on the ground. The warships, the jets, the fighter jets are flying over Venezuela. Yeah, American fighter jets are flying over Venezuela. Bombs will start to drop. That is what land operation means. Bombs will start to drop. And based on what he says, it's people they'll be targeting. Not land, people. Wherever the people are, that's where the bombs will fall. I'm quoting the president. People. So Maduro, you should leave now. You still have chance. It's Saturday. You should leave now. And stop threatening Guyana. Stop that shit. Until next time.